something a little bit different today. We're going to be looking at video recorded with the device the review is about, as opposed to of the device itself. I do have some shaky footage of installing the dash camera that I may include as well. Now, this is the Mirror Dashcam, which, as far as I'm concerned, seems to be an ideal solution to the entire dash cam question. It simply straps over top of the mirror. They include more than enough cable to hide it in the trim of your car. I was able to hide mine in the dash and then around the front pillars. And it's not in my way. The camera is the mirror itself, so I can see what it's recording. There's a 3 or 4 inch section in the center of the screen that's visible as a video when you tap it. I configured mine for a 5-minute timer just because I'm viewing it right now. It has the option to show you a rear camera unit that's included as well, which was also very easy to install. Just run the cable through the car, screw it to the bumper. A minivan, you might want to put it on the top of the rear hatch instead. So overall, installing it was easy. Physically, it's out of my way. It comes on when the car starts. It turns off shortly after the car starts. The only issues I've had with this device so far, the camera itself on the front has a ball mount that allows it to be adjusted, but does not have quite the range of motion I would like. I'd say I probably want another 5 to 10 degrees of pitch side to side. And that may just be due to my height and my size. I'm in a relatively small car. This is a 2012 Cruise. I'd like to turn the mirror a little bit more and be able to turn the camera back towards the center of the car. Outside of that, a little wider field of view on the camera would be nice. The left pillar is not actually in the camera's viewing range, although the entire front bumper is. That's always a trade-off when you're designing something like this. And just higher frame rate video. Right now, it supports 30 frames per second at 1920 by 1080 as a maximum. I would love to see the option for 1080p 60 or even 720p 240. Things in cars happen fast when they happen. So the more frames you have of what's going on, the more likely you are to catch a license plate clearly. And I don't think that that's inherently a criticism that I'm leveling at this particular device, but the entire category of devices. 1080p 30 seems to be the general consensus of good enough. I've seen multi-$1,000 commercial systems for police departments that were limited to 1080p 30. That said, I know Yi makes action cameras that are capable of things like 4K, 1080p 120. So to ask them as a manufacturer to give us a few more frames, even if it means dropping the camera down to 1280 to get 60 frames a second, doesn't seem entirely unreasonable. Beyond that, the video looks clear. You'll hear how the audio sounds in the review, because that's what's recording the audio right now. The rear camera is convenient. My wife absolutely loves it when she has to parallel park. It's not inherently, in a vehicle this size, the most required feature if you're used to driving larger vehicles, but it's nice, especially, like I said, if you're parallel parking, to see just how close you are to that thing behind you. Beyond that, for about $70, I don't see a whole lot of reason that this isn't the dash cam to look at, unless someone else is, as I mentioned, addressing higher frame rate video. And even if they are, if they're not doing it in a form factor that simply just gets out of your way, like this is, with it built into a mirror, I'm not sure it's a better device then. The fact that this bolts onto the mirror, gets out of the way, offers a rear camera. The whole package is about $70, and you throw in a $10 or $20 SD card. I've got one of the 64 gig Kingstons we reviewed recently in there. You're done for less than $100 and 15 minutes worth of work. You have a dash cam, you have a backup camera, and you have a clear, relatively fingerprint resistant mirror.